and today we are talking about bold moves that generate sales and the strategy behind selling. And so I am super excited to have this conversation with you this morning because it is a topic that is not discussed, right? So you always hear people talking about marketing and the importance of marketing, but you don't really hear a lot of people talking about the importance of generating sales so that you can not only build a sustainable business, but so that you can generate sales on a consistent basis. And so this is actually one of my favorite topics to talk about, especially as someone who has been in the sales industry for well over 10 years. It's actually going on 15 years now. I have been a sales professional consulting multi-million-dollar brands. And so, again, I am super excited to have this conversation and to share with you bold moves that generate sales and the strategy behind selling with confidence, right? Because, selling can be hard. And I think that a lot of people are afraid to sell, right? They don't want to come off too salesy, and they don't want to come off too pushy. They don't want to annoy their customers, but there is a strategy behind selling. And honestly, you should be selling each and every day in your business. Okay. So as I mentioned before, so many people are good marketers, but they struggle with generating sales and generating consistent sales, right? And so when I think about sales and marketing, they go together. Like you can't have one without the other. And I like to think of sales and marketing as a marriage, right? So a marriage involves two people, right? And in order to build a good marriage, you must have both parties involved. Both parties must be doing their part. And when one is not right, the marriage will fall apart. And it may not fall completely apart, but at some point, there are going to be some issues when one person is not doing their part, okay? And so in business, it's the same thing, right? When you are marketing, but you don't have a sales strategy to support your marketing strategy, it's going to create some bottlenecks in your business. And what you want to do as an entrepreneur is eliminate as many bottlenecks as much as possible, okay? And to be honest with you all, it's not that we don't have good products or services that we sell and offer right now. It's not that we don't have a good product. It's not that we don't have a good service. Oftentimes we just lack the confidence, or we don't know how to sell. We don't know how to close a deal. We don't know how to have a sales conversation. And because we don't know how to do those things, sometimes it keeps us stuck, right? So we assume that no one wants what we have to offer, right? So we make this bad assumption when in reality, we haven't been marketing our service well enough in order to generate sales, right? And oftentimes too, we don't even believe in what we're actually selling. And so I say all of those things to say this, right? When you are assuming that no one wants what you have to offer, when you are not taking the time to actually market and sell your products and services, when you don't believe in what you're selling, it all leads to a lack of confidence, okay? And so today, my goal is I want to share with you some bold moves that I've made in my business to generate sales and to increase my confidence when it comes to selling, right? Because as I mentioned before, it is going to be extremely difficult to make money in your business if you're not consistently selling, right? So your business should be like a selling machine. It should be consistently marketing a product or service, and it should be consistently selling a product or service. And remember, they go hand in hand. So let me dive into my story. So in 2024, so last year, I've been talking about this a little bit this year. In 2024, I did a lot in my business. I invested in a marketing coach. I participated in Corner to Corner, even though I have been an entrepreneur for, I'm going on 5 years with this business, but I've been an entrepreneur for almost 15 years. But I decided to join Corner to Corner to revisit some foundational principles that I felt like I neglected early on in my business, because I was actually in grad school, getting my MBA, working a job where I was putting in about 60 hours a week. So there were some of the foundational principles were missed for me. And so again, that is pretty much, so last year I did a lot. But most importantly, I increased my prices significantly. Like, I took a price increase on everything. I took a price increase on my tickets. So for my events, I increased my coaching and consulting prices, and I also increased my membership prices. So I increased my prices across the board. And initially, to be honest with you, I was so afraid to increase my prices, because I was like, okay, if I increase my prices, then no one is going to want what I have to offer, right? And so once I took the price increase, I honestly started to attract people who I was meant to serve, right? And sometimes when you are pricing your offers too low, you don't attract the people who you were meant to serve. So we always talk about, we want to work with our ideal customer. You just don't want to work with your ideal customer. You want to work with your highest aligned customer, right? The customer who share the same values as you do. The customer who is going to be willing to put in the work. The customer who is going to not think twice when you put the price, the cost to work with you in front of them, right? So you want to make sure that you're not only working with your most ideal customer, you want to make sure that you're working with your highest aligned customer, okay? And so sometimes when you don't price your offers accordingly, you attract the wrong people. You attract people who you were not meant to serve, and you just don't make any money, right? So you're working with people who have a scarcity mindset, right? And so with that being said, I wanted to attract my highest aligned customer. Again, not just any ideal customer, my highest aligned customer. And so I know that I knew in that moment that I needed to increase my prices in order to do so. So for example, let me share a story with you. I hosted my very first Bossy Brunch event. Okay, so the Bossy Brunch is a business brunch that I host every single year. And I hosted my first Bossy Brunch back in 2022. But let me tell you something. I struggled so much to sell those tickets at $75, right? Because honestly, what are you going to get for $75, right? And you always have to be thinking about the perceived value. Now, sometimes your perceived value can be wrong, but that is how people think, right? So I say all that to say this. I did not sell any tickets. I think I sold maybe 3 or 4 tickets, maybe. But I struggled to sell tickets, and I literally had to give tickets away because no one wanted to purchase a ticket. So let me take a sip of my tea. So fast forward to 2024, I increased my prices from $75 starting out in 2022 to $200 per ticket. And we sold out 1 month before the event, right? And the reason why we sold out is because when I took that price increase, the perceived value of the event changed, right? Now, I did have to do some other work, like some messaging work. And then I had to change the way that I marketed the event. But all in all, that was a jump. I almost tripled the cost of the tickets, right? And so I went from $75 to $197. And again, we sold out. So But not only did we sell out, not only did I increase my sales, but I also attracted my highest aligned customer. And that's what you want, right? In entrepreneurship, that's what you want. You want to make sure that you are attracting your dream customers, the people who you want to work with, the people, I know for me, who I want to have in my membership. Okay. All right. And so, the second thing that I did, all right, so the second bold move that I made to help me generate more sales was just by simply showing up. And you might be like, Antoinette, that's not nothing, right? I show up all the time. No, let me tell you, showing up is hard. Showing up and having the discipline to do something day in and day out when you don't feel like it can be extremely, extremely hard. And so, when I showed up consistently, like I think 2024 was like the first year where I consistently showed up in my business. When I showed up consistently in my business changed, right? My business changed, and I increased my sales. I had a really good year financially last year in 2024. But let me share one story with you about a bold move that I made as it relates to showing up. So last year, I don't know if you all know this, but I used to host these events called Business in Bites, right? So it was curated coaching over delicious bites, right? So I would pick a restaurant and invite, aspiring and current entrepreneurs to come and have lunch with me while we discuss different business topics. And but I used to host these events for free. And I wasn't making any money, right? So here we go. We have this hobby that I've created because I'm basically connecting with people in person, which is fine, which is what you want to do because you want to be, building relationships with your highest aligned customer. But I was creating a hobby because I was hosting things for free. And I said, okay, I want to test out this concept in another city. So I decided to host Business Invites in Memphis, Tennessee. And I found a Facebook group, like a Memphis Facebook group, and I went inside that Facebook group. I was marketing Business Invites. I had so many people to sign up. I had at least 10 to 12 ladies to sign up, right? When I got there, when I showed up to the restaurant, only one person showed up. Only one person showed up for the event, right? And I literally traveled from Nashville, Tennessee with my mom to Memphis, Tennessee. And by the way, Memphis, Tennessee is my stomping grounds, right? Because I went to the U of M. Shout out, go Tigers, go. But I literally traveled from Nashville, Tennessee to Memphis, Tennessee, 3 hours, got a hotel room, sacrificed my time, my money to attend this event that I created, and only one person showed up. But guess what? That one person became a coaching client that day, right? So just imagine, just picture it if I had not showed up. Just imagine if I had not done the work to actually take my time out, put together, the topics that I wanted to discuss for that day. Just imagine had I said, you know what? Only one person showed up and it's not worth my time, and I decided to just go back to my hotel or do something else with my mom. I would have never secured that coaching client because that coaching client, what happened? That coaching client helped me increase my sales. And so that is one of the bold moves that I made in 2024 to help me increase my sales, right? Because I don't want to say it's hard to get new coaching clients, but it can be hard right now in the online space to get new eyes on your brand because the market is oversaturated, in my opinion. Some people will tell you that the market is not oversaturated, but the market is oversaturated and the market is very, very, very noisy. So to stand out in an oversaturated market and to pick up a new client is amazing, right? So that is one of the bold moves that I made last year to help me increase sales. And then the last thing, another bold move that I made was this year in 2025, in 2025, I stopped hosting free events, right? Because in my opinion, people don't value free stuff. That's just my opinion. We can agree to disagree, but people don't value free stuff, right? So we have freebies that we do need to have in our business so that we can attract people to the top of our sales funnel. But at the end of the day, when you're consistently hosting events for free, I don't think that translates into sales, right? Sometimes it can, just like my Business Advice event. But when you're doing it all the time and you end up losing money instead of making money, it's not worth your time. And that's just my opinion. And so, because at the end of the day, right, like you are in business to generate revenue and to make a profit. And the moment when I realized that my time was valuable is when I started to make more money in my business, right? So everything that I do in my business, this year, we are up in sales versus prior year, like substantially, right? We are up in sales versus prior year. And it's because I do not do anything for free anymore. Even if I'm hosting an event and only 3 or 4 people showed up, those 3 or 4 people purchased tickets, okay? Because at the end of the day, there is a price tag associated with my time. There's a price tag associated in working with me, right? I have an MBA in business. I have been a corporate sales professional for 15 years, consulting multi-million-dollar brands. I have done so much work in the online space. I have been an entrepreneur since I graduated from college, which was at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. So there's a price tag that's going to be associated with working with me. So the moment when I realized that my time was valuable, that's the moment when I saw an increase in sales in my business. Okay. So I just shared with you 3 bold moves that I have made in my business to not only increase my sales, but to also build my confidence, right? Because again, selling can be hard, but you have to have a marketing strategy and a sales strategy in place if you actually want to make money in your business. Because again, you're not in business to build an expensive hobby. You are in business to make money, right? You created and you started your business because you wanted to maybe you wanted to supplement your existing income. I know for me, that's what I wanted to do. Like when I created Her Complexion was supposed to be, and it still is, my retirement plan, right? When I created Her Complexion, I had no intentions on working my business full time. So right now I'm in the process of creating a business that can run on its own, a business that can run by itself, right? And so in order for that business to run by itself, it has to be profitable. It has to be making money, okay? So to sum it up, when it comes to selling with confidence, it really boils down to a few things, right? So when we talk about the strategy, it really boils down to a few things. Number one, it is based on how you view yourself, right? And what you bring to the table. So your unique value proposition. That's what it boils down to. If you view yourself as someone who deserves to have nice things, someone who deserves to be wealthy, and to get paid for their time, then you will charge accordingly, right? You will stop giving away so much for free. So it really boils down to your unique value proposition, okay? And I think that's what really changed the game for me in my business is when I got super clear on my UVP, right? If you are not clear on your UVP, it's going to be very, very difficult to charge your worth. It's going to be very, very difficult to be confident when you are selling whatever it is that you have to offer, right? When you are trying to sell against your offers and you lack a strong UVP, it's going to be difficult to make money because people will see that. They will notice that you're not confident. They will notice that you're struggling with articulating your value and what you bring to the table. Okay. And so with that being said, we are at time. Some of the things I want you to walk away with would be this. Make sure you are very, very clear on your unique value proposition. Make sure you charge your worth. Because once you get clear and have clarity around your unique value proposition, you will automatically increase the sales in your business. Okay. So if you felt like any of my stories helped you, if you felt like it gave you clarity on what you need to do next, then I want you to download my 5-part growth series. It is 110% complimentary. The only thing that you have to do is comment growth formula and I will send it to you. Be sure to share this video with someone, like, share, follow us, and then be sure to follow us on YouTube as well. Thank you.